All right, what's up, YouTube? How's it going, guys? Pull up the Instagram feed. Oops. All right, we are live. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. Already got some questions coming on YouTube. You guys are awesome. All right. Happy Thursday, guys. I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. Exciting announcement before I get going on this. I'm teaching a free online workshop next week, April 9th. If you've been interested in my online course, Multi-Orgasmic Man, this would be a great free training to get a little sample of what's going to be in the course. And I'm going to be teaching techniques to control ejaculation, to overcome premature ejaculation, to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, full body orgasms. So check out the training, Male Sexual Mastery Secrets. Sign up for free. There's a link in my Instagram bio, and there's a link in this YouTube video. So sign up for that. That's going to be next week. It's going to be an epic training. I'm really excited for that. So yes. So here we are. We're doing a little weekly live Q&A. If this is your first time, basically I just, answer questions. Feel free to send in your questions. Sometimes the same questions get asked a lot, but it's all good. It's a place to hang out and have fun, basically. So feel free to send your questions. But man, what an exciting time to be alive. Things are really transforming and changing on the planet. And, I say this every week, but it's continuously evolving, right? It's spring right now where I'm living. The sun's out. It's amazing. I love this time of year. It's a good time to get outside, get out of the mud, get out of this, Debbie Downer stuff so many people are stuck in, and create your own world to live in. Create your own happiness, your own joy, your own inspiration. Absolutely anything's possible right now. But the important thing is, where's your focal point? If your focal point is on, this fear stuff, this darkness, that will become your reality. But when you choose to focus on other things, when you choose to focus on balancing yourself, cultivating your chi, cultivating your energy, cultivating your connection to nature, your higher selves, your cosmic purpose, your potential for being here right now on planet Earth in 2021. Why do you think you're here right now? You think it's an accident or this randomness that you're here on this planet in this unprecedented time of transformation? We all have a purpose here. We all have a mission to do. So when you get clear about who you truly are, what truly fulfills you, and I don't mean instant gratification, I like to, watch Pornhub and play video games. No, that's not what fulfills you. What is truly your soul potential? What really lights you up, right? And if you haven't found that yet, it's probably time. So what I'm really trying to say is, again, there's so much potential right now, but it all comes down to, what are you focusing on? What are you doing with your time, your energy? Where is your mind? Most importantly, is your mind under hypnosis by fear-based programming, that's being broadcast through the airwaves? Or is your mind connected to something a bit more balanced, something a bit more natural, the energy of nature, the cosmic rays coming in from the sun that are carrying powerful information right now? So cultivate your chi, do your meditation, get out in nature, drink clean water, and just have fun, right? It's a great time to be alive. So, all right, guys. We're going to get into it. Oh, again, just a reminder for those of you just joining me, I'm teaching a free online workshop next week, all about mastering your sexual energy, lasting longer in bed, having full body orgasms, things like that. Male Sexual Mastery Secrets. Sign up for free. Instagram bio, and on this link on my YouTube channel, or in the description of this video on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions now. Feel free to send in your questions. Some of you already have. All right. Okay, what's the difference between Kundalini, Prana, and Chi energy? Good question. These things get thrown around a lot, right? So Chi and Prana are more or less the same thing. They're terms that basically translate to life force energy, right? But specifically in the Taoist energy sciences, Chi is often a shorthand term for Jing, Qi, and Shen. Jing, Qi, Shen are, I talk about this a lot, but they're basically three frequencies of energy, right? Jing is more the physical, closer to the physical realm. It's a bit more dense. Qi is more the intermediary, moving between the spiritual realms and the physical realm, right? Shen is pure spiritual energy, right? So there's these different kind of subcategories of life force energy, which is kind of a broad term. Kundalini is it's a certain type of energy. It's this energy that's dormant at the root of the body, and it's this ascending energy. It's this awakening energy. It's like that the day night cycle, right? But on a consciousness level, when this energy starts to rise up through the body, you start to get beyond the base level consciousness of, find something to eat, find someone to hump, and find someone to fight, right? You get out of that root level consciousness and you get into expansiveness. You get into connection. How do I connect with others? How do I relate to others? How do I communicate? How do I connect to greater forces, right? You start to get into this higher consciousness. So Kundalini is basically this activating energy that moves through the body. Whereas Chi and Prana, they do have a certain amount of activation, but you can have a free flow of Chi throughout your body without necessarily having like mind-blowing spiritual experiences, right? So it's a certain frequency of energy, we could say. Okay, I got a question. I've been playing a little with my Chi. I've been playing with my Chi, and I wonder how to best use it creatively. Well, what is, that's going to look like different things for different people. How you creatively spend your energy, what fulfills you, what excites you, what motivates you, what is going to make the world a better place, right? That will be a creative expression of your energy. And that's going to be different things for different people. Maybe that's, creating music, creating art. Maybe that's coaching people or being a teacher or something like that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that excites you, motivates you, whatever natural talents and sort of things you're naturally, things you're naturally passionate about. You should probably explore these things and put your energy into them. If you say jelqing doesn't work, what kind of exercise can really enlarge the penis? I've never said jelqing doesn't work. I've said that it can be dangerous because jelqing, it does work, right? But there's a lot of men actually injure their penis using jelqing because with the penis, there's a natural flow that blood moves in, which is it moves into the penis through the corpus spongiosum, which is the bottom of the penis, this large area, and then it flows out through the top of the penis, the dorsal veins. So when you're jelqing, you're forcing blood in a direction it's not supposed to go. This can damage your blood vessels. A lot of guys blow blood vessels in their penis using this exercise, jelqing, right? So you have to be really careful if you're doing jelqing. But what I recommend instead of jelqing is something called the Angion method, which I've been promoting. I'm going to start teaching it as well, but Angion. It's exercises that promote blood flow through the corpus spongiosum. And the more that you increase the flow through there, basically the more it starts to release nitric oxide in the blood vessels of the penis, the more they start to grow, expand, and your penis will grow over time. But almost more importantly, your erection quality will significantly improve. Are the Dantian breathing and the microcosmic orbit meditation key exercises to have full body orgasms and be a multi-orgasmic man? Yes, definitely. Especially the microcosmic orbit. I didn't really activate my Dantian fully for the first several years of my practice because it was neglected in the system I was studying, and I was still having full body orgasms. But once I did start doing Dantian work, it was much easier for me to feel Chi, to feel energy, and much more easy for me to get in touch with my sexual energy. So it really took everything to the next level. So yeah, they are actually quite important practices. But there's different methods that will work for different people. But in general, these are kind of foundations for full body orgasmic states, is having a pathway to bring the sexual energy upward in the body so that the orgasm can move throughout the body and be dispersed throughout your body instead of just being stuck in your genitals. So there's many ways to do that, but it's the microcosmic orbit gives you kind of a good systematic way to do that, right? What do I think of the Wim Hof method? I think it's a great method. It has its benefits and it has its limitations. Its benefits are that it's great for your health, your sense of balance, overall. But as far as like internal energy cultivation, it doesn't get that deep into that aspect of it. But it's a great method overall. There's a reason it's popular. Do I follow Chris Bales' work? I'm familiar with Chris Bales' work. I wouldn't say I like really follow his work closely, but I've seen some of his videos. He seems like, a great guy, a great teacher or whatever. How to stop thinking about a girl I like. I asked her out. She rejected me, which doesn't really bother me. I would just like to get her off my mind. Well, start focusing on other things, right? And naturally over time, you'll stop thinking about her, hopefully, right? So just find something else to put your time into, practice meditation, practice Qigong, do creative outlets for your energy. Just, keep yourself engaged in something new and fresh that's in the present moment, no longer connected to this, past situation that you may be reliving, So find something else to do basically. And over time, you will release that attachment. Okay, do your methods activate Kundalini energy also? The sexual Kung Fu methods are not directly, meant to directly activate Kundalini, because what happens is when you just like go into a full-blown Kundalini experience, you bring this energy up in the body before it's ready. It can be very unpleasant. It can make you go insane, right? All of a sudden you're multidimensional. So in the kind of the Taoist approaches, you build foundations slowly, right? You build the Dantian, you build the lower energy centers, then you slowly go up to the energy centers of the body, creating a safe foundation. And really more importantly, a proper energetic wiring to be able to hold a higher voltage of energy. And for a lot of people, it starts to in the systems studying this way, it naturally starts to release the Kundalini energy over time in a more balanced way, we could say, versus just going full rocket ship, take off, which was my first experience with it, right? So it can activate Kundalini for most people, but usually it's not like a full-on Kundalini awakening. It's a gradual, step-by-step process over time. But that's not really the main point of the sexual Kung Fu system. But it is, something that is a potential for you to focus on in your training. When you feel intense sexual arousal build up in your genitals, is there a method to clear and circulate it quickly, or does it have to be cleared gradually and subtly? Good question. You can do either, but so the power lock, I have a video of this on my YouTube channel, is how you like quickly pull energy out of your genitals. But the thing is, on an arousal scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the point at which you ejaculate, if you wait till you're at a 9 to do any sort of like circulating sexual energy, it's usually more difficult to bring yourself back down to a more base level of arousal. So it's ideal to be circulating sexual energy, at least here and there, throughout your entire sexual experience, and to slow down the rate at which your arousal climbs. It makes it much more easier to manage, right? But this is something that takes, it takes practice and training. You'll see what works best for you over time. How do you get deep then? You say Wim Hof method doesn't get you that deep. I'm interested to know what can be deeper. So yeah, as far as internal energy cultivation, it doesn't take you very far. The benefits of it are relatively superficial as far as what's possible as internal energy cultivation. It's a great method. I'm not like trying to, talk down on it. It's great. But from my own experience, because I've been, practicing various internal art systems for a decade now, the really forceful breathing stuff, the really forceful breath work, kind of the pranayama stuff, if you don't have a container to store the energy that you're generating, it disperses. That's what happens with a lot of this breath work stuff, this intense breath work. I teach a lot of it myself. It's great. But for your like foundational practice, again, it's only going to get you so deep, because if you don't have a container to store the energy, refine it, change the shape of it, and be able to work with it consciously, then it just disperses over time. So you get high from it, but then it's gone. The Taoist system, so what's brought me to the most success personally, you work with the Dantian a lot, right? And you can't use force to do this. If you use force, again, the energy doesn't have any yin aspect to it. It doesn't have the magnetic field that holds it in place so that it can be stored. Building your Dantian requires a certain level of yin energy. So it requires stillness, right? It requires deep mind-body connection. And so these types of methods, in my opinion, in my experience, are much more effective for long-term internal energy cultivation because it takes years to really, really develop the stuff. It just does. It takes daily practice. It takes diligence. So, yeah, if you want really serious, deep internal energy cultivation, then, I found the more internal practices, not based on force, not based on intense breathing, but based on being able to really anchor your mind within the body and activate certain internal protocols. We're kind of getting into more, advanced stuff here, but that's what I find most effective. And if you want to get started on this type of work, check out my Dantian breathing video, work with that, work with my Qigong practices, Microcosmic Orbit. I go into more depth in this stuff in my Immortal Energy Arts online course. And of course, I teach a lot of the basics in multi-orgasmic man as well, how to build your Dantian, how to circulate Qi through your body. Okay, here's a question from Instagram. I find that during my full body orgasm, my energy moves around erratically and I'm not sure how to improve this. And does thinking, okay, don't worry about it too much. It's if you're too like, I need to control every movement of my energy, it can cause actually stagnancy in your system, over controlling, excessive yi, excessive intention, right? So don't worry too much about how your energy is flowing in your body, unless it's like going somewhere it shouldn't be going, right? So it's probably not really an issue, but as you keep practicing, as you keep developing your mind-body connection, you'll be able to better guide the way that the energy flows in your body. Okay, and then does thinking about another energy center help to transmute this? Any advice? Well, thinking about the energy center is not going to do much. You want to be able to anchor your mind there. The mind guides the chi, right? And if you're only like visualizing, if you're only seeing from your head, then it's not necessarily what's happening in reality. So if you want to move energy somewhere, you have to be able to absorb your mind into your body, this Ting-Gen quality, listening energy, the Taoists call it. To be able to absorb your mind into an area of the body, it will naturally start to guide your energy there. And obviously this is something that requires training, but yeah, hope that helps. Grab a little of my protein drink here. Is it possible to have more size on the penis? If yes, what methods are best for length and thickness? I teach some penis enlargement techniques in my course because it is possible to do this. I added some length myself. As I mentioned, the Anjan method's really, really great for a more kind of long-term, less risky approach to penis enlargement, but there's also like stretching techniques and things like that to improve length as well. You can look this up and find them. Can sun gazing give you more sexual energy? Potentially, yes. Sun gazing is a great practice. You're absorbing just raw information, raw chi from the sun. It's very powerful. Sun exposure in general, sun charging is one of the best things you can do for your sexual energy because on a superficial physical level, it is how we get vitamin D. It's how our bodies produce vitamin D. We need sunlight, right? And that is extremely beneficial to your sexual energy. I saw a study showing that sun exposure to the genitals specifically increased testosterone levels in men by up to like 200%. So yeah, getting sun is extremely important for your overall health and vitality, but yeah, definitely for your sexual vitality. And sun gazing is a great practice as well. Okay. Okay, any meditation, breathing exercises to let go of things? A while back, I lost 2 years worth of music, and even though I've created more music since then, I'm still very angry and depressed about all the lost material that I can't seem to move on from. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, as a musician myself, I actually recently one of my computers crashed, and I lost a lot of some music I've been working on, and it's like you can either get upset about it, be attached to it, or say, okay, whatever it is, what it is. Understand that you can recreate a lot of this, like what was really good, right? But as far as just like letting go and detaching, I mean, there's various practices. I teach a lot of these in my course. I find breath work very helpful, gets things flowing. Uh, Spending time in nature. There's a specific practice I teach in the course, in my Multi-Orgasmic Man course, 6 healing sounds that helps you remove negative emotions and blockages from the body. But in general, do some meditation, do some Qigong, and start creating new music, and you'll be fine. I had Kundalini Awakening 7 years ago, but now passing through strong symptoms, pain, strong, crazy emotions, 100% loneliness, foggy mind. My question. So I'm not sure what your question is, but as far as like managing this, when you're having, whether it's a true Kundalini experience, Kundalini psychosis where it's unpleasant, or in a lot of cases, it's actually just excess yang. It's too much energy rising up the back channel, and you don't have this front channel opened up to bring the energy back down and ground it, right? So it's a one-way path. It's earth up to heaven, everything's dispersing upwards versus coming back down into the form, which is what the microcosmic orbit allows, is this constant relationship and cycle between heaven and earth. Formless comes down to the form turns up back into the formless. A lot of paths, the fire paths, stress this one-way movement of everything must go back into heaven. So it's kind of anti-material, anti-physical, anti-female in a lot of ways. But we're, balancing both heaven and earth, balancing your physical life with your spiritual life, instead of just trying to, escape from the physical, which a lot of people are doing. It's like, why did you come down here, incarnate into a body in the first place, just to leave? It doesn't make sense, right? But as far as, what you're dealing with, I think grounding is going to be number one. You have a lot of energy rising up into your head. It's pulling you out of your body. It's pulling you out of your center. You can't manage your emotions. So ground. Less head-centered practice, or cut out head-centered practices at all, like visualizations, things like that. Do some grounding practice. I have a practice on my YouTube channel. Go to my Qigong playlist, Jian Zhuan, standing meditation practice. The number one grounding practice. You do this every day. I think you'll find it really helps stabilize you. Also, like eating heavier foods, maybe some animal products, help to really ground your energy and get you back in your body, which is most helpful. Hopefully that helps. What are some jobs in the conscious energy industry to make a living while staying on my passionate purpose, music? There's a lot of options. You could study healing modalities. Get a Reiki master, attunement, something like that. Study body work therapies, massage therapy, chiropractic, something like that. Of course, some of these things require going to school, but I think like energy healing in general, I think is a great thing to study in. First of all, it's a great skill to have. I've gone through many different trainings in energy healing techniques, from Chine Song. I've done Reiki Masters stuff. Chi emission, a lot of different things I've studied. Because it's a good tool just to have for yourself, for your friends and your family, your loved ones. You can help to keep them healthy and balanced, right? And you can also make a little income from it as well. So I think something like that, if I was looking to make some extra income from something, it would probably be doing some type of healing work or something like that, life coaching, something like that, right? Hope that's helpful. And wishing you the best with your music, Nick. Okay, so yeah, I saw your question. Do you think your work could help me to ease Kundalini symptoms? Yes, definitely. Because again, the practices I teach, they're very body centric. They're very grounding, help you to get out of your head and back down into your body, which is the number one remedy for Kundalini psychosis, which again is usually just actually excess yang rising in the body. Okay, this next question. I tried edging during testicle breathing and microcosmic orbit without ejaculating, and it was awesome. But after an hour, I could really feel my semen inside of me. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Is there a higher risk for prostate cancer? Okay, so prostate cancer and non-ejaculatory, sexual experience and semen retention. Is there a link here? There is the possibility for congestion if you're not dispersing the energy. So you said you're working with microcosmic orbit and testicle breathing, which is great. Those are the number one exercises for preventing stagnation. And it takes a bit of time to really open up the channels and really be able to move the energy out of there. So it sounds like you're you end your session feeling a lot of like pressure and buildup down there, right? So just a matter of deepening your practice with that, maybe staying a bit lower on the arousal scale as you're doing this until you develop your skill. Tennis ball massage is super, super important for this as well. This is something I teach all my students. You take a tennis ball. I've got one actually right here. Just a normal tennis ball. Place it under the perineum between the testicles or between the genitals and the anus. There's a little soft area that it'll kind of sink into. Just sit with a tennis ball on there, sit for a few minutes, and it'll acupress set. You can kind of move around a little bit, and that will help break up any stagnance. You can also do direct prostate massage, which is extremely beneficial for male prostate health, but a lot of men are, afraid of that. So, yeah. 50% of men have prostate issues, so there's not necessarily a link between, from what I've seen, my own research, my own experience, there's not necessarily a link between semen retention and prostate cancer, but yes, there can be some buildup if you aren't moving that energy. So that's why, what I've just said is very important. Does your course go over shadow work, shadow integration? Basically, I'm less like psychological about it. A lot of people have all this like storytelling about the stuff, like, okay, you have to, basically my approach to it, doing shadow work, clearing these things is like, you don't need to like know exactly what it is. You don't have to have this huge story about, oh, well, I have all this pain because this and this and this. Like, we don't need to, you don't need to tell the story behind it. Just want to get the energy out of your body. It's like one of my teachers said, when you go to the bathroom, you don't like sift through it like, oh, what's in here? You know what I mean? You just flush it down the toilet. That's kind of my philosophy on energy works. Like, you don't need to know what kind of shit you're holding onto inside. You just want to get it out of your body, out of your energy system, right? So yes, I do teach how to clear your mind, your body, your limiting beliefs, your traumas, your blockages, your shadow issues, how to clear these things. I teach that in this multi-orgasmic man course. How long does it take my brain to heal from porn? I'm not exactly sure, because when I was basically, I guess, overcoming my porn addiction, for me, it wasn't a process of like, okay, I need to quit this. I'm like quitting cold turkey. It was, for me, it was a very effortless process, because this was when I started getting into basically sexual kung fu practices, qigong, meditation, working with my sexual energy in a different way. And because of this daily practice I was doing, I was still watching porn at the time, occasionally, right? And what happened was not very long into my training, I'd be watching porn and then afterwards be like, what, this actually makes me feel really off. I don't feel good from this. So maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. So naturally I just stopped doing it, right? So as far as how long it took my brain to heal, recover from it, I'm not really sure. But again, having my practice, it was effortless to let go of it. And then everything was good, basically. Can I make an upload of my music like I did in my vlog? Yeah, so I'm getting way back into music, actually. So I used to be a full-time musician. How passionate I am about sexual kung fu now, that used to be that about music, right? But I'm getting back into it. I'm actually working on an album that I'm planning on releasing by the end of the year. It's I basically have two goals this year. I'm like kind of narrowing my focus, because last year I was a little bit all over the place. And one of my main goals is to make this new music album. So I'll be sharing more about that soon. Spill my smoothie home myself. You guys didn't see that, right? Okay, next question. Besides the microcosmic orbit, you can feel a non-ejaculatory orgasm by other zones of your body, like the legs or the head. Yes, you can have an orgasm anywhere in your body. And again, with microcosmic orbit, there's many pathways to move the energy through the body. The microcosmic orbit is it's two channels of what's known as the eight extraordinary meridians in Chinese medicine and Taoist practice, which are these deep reservoirs, kind of like our deep energetic matrix, right? So there's the 12 superficial acupuncture meridians that, are related to the organs. Acupuncturists work with these, but beneath these, kind of on a deeper energetic levels, the 8 extras. The microcosmic orbit is 2 of these 8 channels, but there's more you can work with. There's the belt channel, which circles horizontally around the body. There's the arm and leg channels. There's core channels that go vertically. There's these other channels as well. So there's many pathways the energy can move in, but the microcosmic orbit is kind of like, you get the essence of it. It's prime yin yang pattern, up the back, down the front. And you really, when you develop your skill in this training, you can move the energy anywhere. Like I teach you in the course, I teach how to bring it to your organs, how to bring it to the glands, bring it to your brain, whatever. There's a lot of possibilities for where you can move the sexual energy. Okay, so Carlos Kundalini, who's having overwhelming rising energy. Yeah, like I said, do the grounding practice on my YouTube channel. Go to my Qigong playlist, and really all the Qigong practices are going to be really helpful for you. And the Dantian breathing meditation practice I have on my YouTube as well. Those are very grounding, help you to bring the energy out of your head and lower in your body, which will help, resolve these issues that you're having. If you had to pick one major benefit of semen retention, just one that has the deepest impact on your life, what would it be? I would say, there's, it changed a lot, but overall I could say it really helped me step into my masculine. Before I started practicing semen retention, I was very yin, I was very feminine, I was very overly emotional, very ungrounded. I could never I had all these great ideas and things, all this creativity in my mind, but I had a difficult time bringing it into the real world, right? And once I practiced semen retention, I really stepped into action. I started working out, started building my body. I started making things happen. I was training. I stepped into my role as, having something to contribute to the world, which allowed me to step into a lot of abundance, and, my relationships improved dramatically. So, it's helped me on many different areas of my life, but I guess that's my answer. Can I speak more about prostate massage? I'm not exactly sure what you want me to speak about, but prostate massage, massaging the prostate. Yes, it involves something going up your butt, maybe a finger massager. A lot of men are scared of this. They think that it'll somehow make them gay, which is kind of ridiculous. It's like you're either attracted to the same sex or you're not. It doesn't matter what type of physical stimulation is happening, right? But I understand why men are insecure about it. But yes, it's extremely beneficial because, again, the prostate, 50% of men develop prostate issues in their life. Why? Because this is an extremely neglected part of the body. They're scared of it. They're afraid to, touch it. So prostate massage is a great way to avoid any issues down there. It's actually one of the most powerful things you can do as a man to actually activate deeper level of your sexuality. There is enormous sexual potential to prostate stimulation. I made a video on my experience having prostate orgasm and orgasm from prostate stimulation alone. It was one of the most powerful experiences I've had in my life. Not just the most powerful orgasms, but powerful experiences. You want to talk about Kundalini Awakening? That's a multi-dimensional experience there. The prostate super O, they call it, right? Super orgasm. So there's a lot of benefits to it. There's really no downside unless you're insecure, but that's your own, belief system in place there. So yeah, I highly recommend men take care of your prostate, and it can actually deeply, deeply enrich your life and your sexual experience as well. Is there a way to cure and heal a circumcised penis? Well, hopefully it's healed by now. If it's still I think you're talking about healing on a different way though. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by cure and heal it. You're circumcised, maybe you didn't want to be circumcised. If you're asking about if you can restore your foreskin, then yes, it's possible to do foreskin restoration. I haven't done it personally. I was circumcised, and I don't know, I'm not that concerned about it. But if you want to restore your foreskin, you can. There's certain procedures you could do. Basically, just look up foreskin restoration. There's devices, basically slowly stretching the skin over. I think it takes a couple of years, maybe a year. You can start to grow your foreskin back if you want to. So you can look into that. How do you stay on track? What do you mean by stay on track? How important is it that your partner, if you have one, also does sexual kung fu practices? It's not essential. I had, I was with a few partners when I was first learning sexual kung fu practices where I was doing practices and they weren't, but there was still a lot of benefit to it. I was still having, powerful orgasmic experiences. And, again, it's not essential. You're both getting the benefit of the practice. And maybe, yes, there can be a bit of a deeper exchange if you both are doing the practice, but, just is what it is. It's not essential. And what I found is that women, I mean, if your partner's a woman, women are much more receptive. Women are naturally able to achieve a lot of these powerful full body orgasmic states. Women have immense sexual power because they have to, they have to create babies in their bodies so that they naturally have this unlimited orgasmic potential. So it's men that it's really important to do this work to be able to develop more sexual power, because men are actually quite sexually weak by nature. We're easily exhausted through ejaculation, but that's where sexual kung fu comes in. It makes you much stronger, right? So basically it's not essential, but it's great if your partner does do them with you. But again, it's not essential. With the Angion method, how many inches can you add to penis size? I'm not completely sure. You can look up the creator of Angion method, Janis Bifrons. He talks about, his personal gains from it. So, I'm not sure what's possible. I've only been doing it since, I think I've been doing it for 5 or 6 months now, but I'm having great benefits. For me, I started because of, I'm not necessarily concerned in adding any size to my penis. I'm happy with my penis size, but the amazing increase in erection quality it brings, it really develops the blood vessels in the penis. How do you sleep early? Are you asking how do you go to bed early? Well, you just do it. If you're trying to transition into going to bed earlier, then start waking up earlier. Wake up an hour or two earlier than you normally do. Exhaust yourself during the day. Do some intense physical exercise, and start going to bed earlier. You can gradually go to bed like 15 minutes earlier every night until you're going to bed at the time you want to. Have I heard of CPPS and how it causes premature ejaculation? I am not sure what CPPS is. Can you show us how to place the tongue against the roof of the mouth? So there's various placements for it, but in general, if you're working with like the microcosmic orbit, if you're going to say the word T, like T, where your tongue goes before you make that T sound, that's where you want it. It's like just a bit behind the front teeth. That's it. It's not, rocket science here. You just place your tongue behind the front teeth. What's your workout routine? More weight training or cardio? For a long time, I was doing much more weight training, but I'm adding a lot more cardio into my routine now. So I do weight training 3 days a week, and cardio I'm trying to do 3 or 4 days a week. I'm doing a lot more cardio. I've actually gotten into sprinting recently, which is amazing. It basically, like, I'm trying to tire myself out because I have so much energy for my practices. Sometimes I can't sleep at night, right? Because I have so much energy. So I'm finding intense cardio workouts really help just burn off some of my excessive energy. I like biking too. I'll go for bike ride, lots of hill climbs and things like that. A good hour, 90 minutes. The name of the method is Angion method, Angion. Just Google that, search on YouTube. The guy Janis teaches it all for free. It's an amazing system. Highly recommend it. Is it normal for your testicles to hurt during the springtime? My right testicle is swelling. This is an energy buildup. Okay, testicle pain. If it's blue balls type of pain, like, just a feeling of stagnation in there, if it's something else, maybe get that checked out. yeah, I'm not a medical doctor, but for blue balls type symptoms, like it's just that like kind of swelling that happens from arousal that's not um, brought to completion, right? It's pressure. Um, this is quite normal when you're practicing semen retention, but it usually means there's stagnance in the genitals. There's an energy buildup here and it's not able to flow throughout your body. And this may be more common in the springtime. A lot of guys have been reaching out to me about, they're doing semen retention. They're like, man, I'm so horny. I'm so sexually frustrated because in the spring, the energy of the earth is rising, all the sap, and the trees is rising. It's a very sexual time. Everything's awakening and rising up. So spring, there's an abundance of sexual energy. And men, if you want to, you can actually ejaculate more frequently in the spring. And it's not going to, be the same as like ejaculating in the dead of winter, right? So don't be too obsessive. Sometimes it's just time to let it go. Don't worry too much about it. But obviously not ejaculating every day. But yes, in the spring, you have a lot more sexual energy rising in your body, more to deal with. So it's very important that if you're practicing retention, you're moving that energy. Microcosmic orbit, testicle breathing. If you're just retaining your semen, you're not circulating the energy, you're going to have problems. Do I think that the shot in the arm will become mandatory? No, I think that people are, I think the truth of things is being revealed. A lot of people know what's really going on, and I have no fear about it. I'm not invested in any fear. Don't project these, don't waste time worrying about the future. The future is an illusion. What's happening right here, right now, that's all that's true. That's all that's real, right? When you spend time fixing like, oh my God, these nightmare scenarios, are they going to play out? Like you're out of your center, you're out of the moment, you're in a projection, you're in an illusion. And if you start feeding energy into that, maybe it'll become your reality, right? So don't worry about it. It's, this, I'm optimistic that this Orwellian agenda is coming to an end. Okay, would I say artificial things placed in the body like hip replacements or dental fillings could negatively affect your sexual energy? Well, your energy in general can be affected, yes. It depends on what the material is. Everything has a vibration, everything has a frequency. So when you put something in your body, it can either be in resonance with your body or it can be in dissonance, right? Unfortunately, dental fillings and things like that, I don't think they're still using metal fillings anymore. The mercury fillings, but you put heavy metals in your body, that's a problem. It gets into your bloodstream. You have heavy metal poisoning. I just got all my mercury out of my mouth in the past year. So again, it depends what they're made of. Hopefully they have, I don't know a lot of like hip replacement stuff like that, what materials they're using, but hopefully it's in harmony with the body, right? The materials. Recreate a lot what was really good. Well, yeah, I was just saying is if you remember them, then you can recreate them. But if you don't, just make something new. You know what I mean? Keep it fresh. Keep it, don't hang on to the past. Be here now. Everything's changing. Everything's always changing. Everything's, this is an interesting thing I've been thinking about a lot is that how we tend to hold on to things, right? But everything, this is yin yang theory in Taoism, is that everything's a force of polarities. It's moving. It's what's creating change. It's creating movements in our life. And when we start to hang on to things from the past, we're getting stuck in an illusion. But everything's changing here in the now. So it's like, how do you stay balanced within the changes right here, right now? You stay in the center of the circle. When you're out on the outside of the circle of change, meaning you're holding on to things, you're resisting, you're getting thrown around by the changes of life. But when you can stay in the center of the circle by keeping yourself in the moment, by keeping your mind and body balanced, by allowing your own yin yang internal dynamics to stay in harmony as things play out, then you are able to hold your center amidst change. How to stop ejaculation when you're coming? Well, if you're ejaculating, then you can't really stop it. You've already hit the point of no return. You might as well just enjoy it at that point because there's nothing you can really do. You can like squeeze your pelvic floor muscles and cut it off midstream, but I don't really like that approach these days. But the key is to stop it before it happens. And this is all about managing your arousal, managing your breath, your mind, tension in your body, guiding the energy upwards. Take my free ejaculation control course and you'll learn how to do this. It's in the description of most of my YouTube videos. It's in my Instagram bio. Angion method, Angion. It's a method this guy developed for, it's basically penis exercises to significantly increase the blood flow in your penis, build your blood vessels, massively increasing your erection quality and potentially adding size to your penis over time as well. If I had to choose one transmutation exercise, what would it be? For transmuting sexual energy, it would be testicle breathing, orgasmic breathing. It's super simple. You just breathe the sexual energy through your body, working with the microcosmic orbit. It's simple, it's easy, you can do it anytime, anywhere. Can I put Arabic subtitles on my YouTube videos? If I had someone to translate my videos into Arabic, it's a possibility. I'm not sure if they can do it on auto, if there's an auto translate on YouTube, but I'll look into it. Been catching up on your videos and exercises, starting to find a real drive and flow in my daily life. Appreciate it. Awesome guy. Glad to hear it's going well. Keep it going. Do have your daily practice. That's what it comes down to. Cultivate your chi, keep things flowing, and your life will continue to unfold in the flow. I'm a virgin and I don't want to ejaculate the first time I have sex. Is that possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible. Do the sexual kung fu exercises, learn to control your ejaculation. And when you go to have sex, you'll be able to do the same. But don't worry about it too much for your your first sexual experience. Don't obsess over too much. But yes, it's possible. Is it possible that two men can have a tantric session successfully? And if so, will it ever be as good as when a genuine yin figure takes place? Yes, two men can definitely have a tantric session. I have a lot of gay friends who practice this stuff with great success. So yeah, you can do it. The one thing though is with two men is that men are very yang by nature. So yeah, it's not going to be as much yin in the exchange by nature as if it was a man and a woman. But you can supplement this with practices cultivating yin energy, right? Spending time in the earth, gardening, digging in the dirt, working with that cool yin earth energy. Is chi another term for prana, or are these different systems? They are different systems, but basically chi and prana mean the same thing, right? I talked about this at the beginning of this video, but yeah, basically the same things, right? How to stop sexual thoughts? Well, first of all, stop trying to stop sexual thoughts, right? Whenever you're trying to stop something, you get into a pattern of contraction, you get into a pattern of obsession, and it often just feeds that pattern. The key is to be able to kind of channel that. It's like, why are you resisting that? Why are you so afraid of having sexual thoughts? Can you allow those sexual thoughts to turn into something else? Can you turn those sexual thoughts into things that drive creativity in your life? Because you get a certain charge when you have a sexual thought. So can you take that charge and put it to use instead of just being like, oh no, this is bad. I need to shove this in the back of my subconscious. That's just asking for issues over a period of time if you have that approach. But it's more about how do you again capture that sort of charge and put it into something else. So you have an arousing thought and you're like, oh, okay, fine. I feel it. I accept it. That's what it is. But let's focus on something creative now. What if I take that energy generated by that thought and I put it into something creative, whatever you're working on. But in general, meditation training is very helpful to be able to release all these random thoughts, the monkey mind, right? Mental training, mind training, meditation, very important. Have you personally benefited from the orgonite setup over my bed? Yeah, so I have a big orgonite pyramid, copper pyramid filled with orgonite, or big orgonite capstone, 30-pound orgonite capstone. So yeah, I sleep in a pyramid. Yes, I definitely benefit from it. It creates it's an interesting effect. It's this stimulating energy, but at the same time, it's very calming, very grounding at the same time. So it's uh, it feels very nice to be in the field of the pyramid, basically. And that's why I sleep in it. Please, can you do a video tutorial about how to masturbate to get a non-ejaculatory orgasm? You say it's better to start this practice alone. So I've got some tutorials on my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, go to my non-ejaculatory orgasm playlist, check that out. Also, join my free training next week. Sign up for that in my Instagram bio, Male Sexual Mastery Secrets. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Is it true that artists and musicians are of highly sexed nature, usually more than of other disciplines? I think there's some truth to this, that artists, these creative types of people are often more sexual by nature because sexual energy is creative energy. So someone with a lot of sexual energy is usually very creative. And these types of people tend to be drawn to creating art, creating music, right? I'm a musician myself, so I can attest to this, right? So yeah, I think there's definitely something to this. But anyone can cultivate this aspect of themselves if they choose to, right? How to use breath to control ejaculation? Slow, deep belly breathing. When you breathe shallow, your belly's all contracted, you're breathing up in your chest. It's going to activate your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight response. So deep, slow belly breathing. Hold the breath for a little bit, exhale. Slow exhale. This will help you control ejaculation. Notice what your breath does when you're being sexually stimulated. When it starts to get shallow and rapid, keep it deep. Again, I teach this in my free ejaculation control course. Do you think music fries your dopamine sensors? I think anything in excess, like if you're listening to music all day, it's going to kind of, it's overstimulating, right? So it's like they say, you listen too much, it hurts the kidneys. You look too much, it hurts the liver. You talk too much, it hurts, I forget, it's the spleen or the heart. But yeah, everything in moderation. If you're like cranking music and headphones in your ears, all day, then yeah, you're gonna, you're going to stimulate yourself a little bit. But you can enjoy music. It's okay. If you're on a computer, on a smartphone right now, then you're probably causing as much harm to your dopamine receptors than you would listening to music for 30 minutes, right? So don't, have fun in your life, just everything in moderation. But music can be very healing as well. It's very natural. You go out and walk in nature, you're hearing music, you're hearing the birds, you're hearing the wind in the trees, the water in the creek. Is it okay to press the bulla banda after the point of no return? I know if I release my fingers, then I will ejaculate, but if I keep pressing, then I feel the energy travel up the spine. So I think you're talking about the huyin, the perineum point. You press the $1 million point. Yeah, you can press. Usually, you want to start it there. You want to press it first before you start ejaculating. But again, this method I don't really promote that much because it's very limited. This isn't a true non-ejaculatory orgasm. You're still losing energy when you use it. It's kind of a training tool, a training wheel until you can get the true non-ejaculatory orgasm methods. Following the semen retention lifestyle makes me do things that seem out of the norm to others. Did you experience the same situation? Yeah, definitely. But I've been outside the norm my entire life. So it's and I enjoy it. Like a lot of people are afraid to like be different. It's like, no, I have to be in this herd mentality. I have to wear the same clothes. I have to say the same things. This kind of it's almost a mind control in a sort of sense, right? It's like we don't really promote independence that much in our world, interestingly, right? We're afraid of change. We're afraid to be the one paving our own path, right? And I think there's nothing better to do than to be the person going against the herd, going against the grain, following your true potential, your Tao, your pathway, your way, right? Because it's boring to do what everyone else is doing. I want to do something new. I want to do something fresh. I want my own unique experience. I don't want to work 9 to 5, have a white picket fence and a wife, it's boring. I want something new. I want a new experience. That's why I came to this planet, into this body, is to have a brand new, unique experience and do, what excites me, not just do what everyone else is doing. Philly cheese, what's up, brother? Philip was in the last round of the course. Got to get back consistent on practices. Yeah, brother. It's all about that daily practice. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're continuing with it. What are some practices you teach? Oh, wait. I got skipped ahead here. Have I ever had a full body orgasm? Yes, I have had a full body orgasm. I've talked about this in many of my videos. I experience these consistently. Have you tried the Wim Hof method? Yes, I answered this earlier. I've tried it. It's great. What are some practices you teach in your course to clear negative energy, and what parts of the body contain the most negative energy stored in it from life trauma? I teach several different techniques. I teach a meditation practice to help dissolve blockages in the body. I teach, again, a practice that uses sound, uses color, uses movement, intention to clear negative emotions and negative patterns that are stored in the organs, which is a common storage point for negative emotions. And I teach breathwork practices. I teach a practice called transformational breathwork, which is incredibly potent. It's like a toilet plunger for your body, right? It just clears everything out, and it actually puts you into psychedelic type states. It's very powerful. It's kind of holotropic breathwork type of exercises. As far as what parts of the body contain the most negative energy stored in it from life trauma, it's going to be different from everyone. It's going to be different for everyone. Some people store it in their, they put these walls around their heart, and they kind of have their shoulders up and forward, a lot of tension up here to kind of constrict this area from feeling anything. A lot of people, have a lot in their bellies. I'd say belly is a pretty common area. The abdomen is our power center, but we have all this tension and this constriction here because the flow of life force through our body is too intense, right? We had some sort of trauma, so nope, I'm cutting it off, squeezing my power center. Can you give some basic tips for retention beginners? Number one, your mindset is the most important thing. Why are you practicing semen retention? You're practicing it because, you want to tell people you went 300 days without ejaculating, because you want to feed your ego. If you're doing those things, then you're doing retention for someone else. It's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to enjoy it. Or are you doing semen retention because you want more balance in your life? You want more energy. You want more creative energy to put into work in your life. You want to improve yourself. You want to be a better human, right? That's a much better reason. And it's also extremely important that you have some sort of foundational practices for managing your internal energy. When you're practicing retention, you're building up this huge charge of sexual energy. And most men doing this have no skill in working with this energy. It becomes stagnant. It starts to drive into their unconscious patterns. Again, feeds the ego, makes them angry, irritable, excess yang, just, kind of douchebags, right? So it's extremely important, if you're practicing retention, that you have a practice for circulating and transmuting that energy. This requires direct internal energy practices. So check out my YouTube channel, Microcosmic Orbit practice, testicle breathing. These are essential if you're going to do semen retention. Best of luck. Does semen retention increase size? Question. I've been on semen retention for about 25 days, and I feel like I grew an inch or half, but not much in thickness. Well, did you measure and see? I don't think for most guys it just naturally causes growth in the penis, but it certainly can, I guess. But usually it takes specific exercises to do that. Wow, guys, I think we hit all the questions. It usually doesn't happen. And we're coming up in an hour here. So thanks everyone for joining. Hope you have a good weekend, good rest of your week. Again, make sure you sign up for my free Male Sexual Mastery Secrets workshop next week. I'm going to be teaching some awesome practices to circulate sexual energy through your body, control ejaculation, have non-ejaculatory orgasms, last for hours in bed. Sign up for that through the link in my Instagram bio. There's a link in the description of this YouTube video. So sign up for that next week. It's going to be epic. All right, guys, jumping off. Take it easy.